What's up, y'all? Keith Dykes here with W.K.D. Construction. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new, thanks for stopping by. You can always hit that subscribe button, man, and come back. Check us out all the time. So let's go build something. What's up, everybody, on this beautiful October morning? Dude, it is like 74 degrees, 10:30 in the morning. It's a little warm. I'm kind of ready for a little bit of the fall weather, but humidity is down, so that makes a heck of a difference. It does make it better to be working outside in. But it is a beautiful, beautiful morning. We're getting ready to go and hit up a fish fry at the Melton Farm. Some good friends of ours, man, they put on a big spread, and we're about to go hit it up. So I ain't even gonna eat lunch. I'm just gonna wait and get my plate full. So I am over here on, I guess it'd be the west side of the house. And we've got one window right here, a lone window. And that's what we're gonna talk about today, is weatherproofing or water sealing, weatherproofing, water sealing, or framing rough openings for our windows, which I do it on the doors, everything. Any type of rough opening that we have where a door or a window is going to go in, I seal them up. So we're going to do it I'm going to show you two different ways. I'm going to use the Zip liquid flash and also stretch tape, using stretch tape and regular tape. Both very good options. I'm just a little more partial to the liquid flash, and we'll get into that in the video a little bit. But yeah, it's always a good practice to go ahead and make sure that all of your openings are weatherproof. Making sure they are weatherproof does a few things. One is, anytime that you cut the zip sheathing, that is the most vulnerable spot for water infiltration. The factory edges, not so much. You don't really have a lot of swelling with the factory edge. But as soon as you cut that panel in the middle, it gets rained on and stuff repeatedly, it does have a tendency to swell. So we need to seal that up, okay? Right off the bat, we need to get it sealed up so it doesn't swell, and that, because if it swells and you put your windows in, then you've got an issue with your interior trim and your jamb and all that. So that's a big deal. Air sealing, that's another big factor. Just because you nail your sheathing onto your stud, that does not mean it's airtight. We are trying to have an airtight envelope on the house, so that adds to that as well. And then third, it's just kind of a cheap insurance to go ahead and seal everything off, especially the seal, because windows can fail. It's not me. I'm confident in my installation of the window, but the window itself, it's been put together in a factory. One of those joints could fail in 20 years, and you won't know about it because it's dripping inside the rough opening, and you would never know it until it's too late. So we're just going to do, it's a little, like I said, it's a little cheap insurance. Go ahead and do it. It doesn't take very long. It's not very expensive, and it's just a good rule of thumb for me. Now that the openings are nice and flush, it is time to put the Zip System liquid flash on there. We're going to do that because we need to seal up all of these edges. We got the raw edge, of the sheathing. It's exposed. We need to get that sealed up so it doesn't swell over time with rain and moisture and stuff. And then our seals are pitched. We framed up this wall to have the seals at a 3-degree pitch, which gives me a 1/4 inch slope on it. So we're gonna go ahead and liquid flash the whole seal and up the sides about 2 inches. That way, if water ever does get in there, we will be prepared and we will not have any seal rot whatsoever. We're gonna take the Zip System liquid flash, which is right here. This is in the sausage tube. I kind of like the sausage tube a little better. Ordered this off Amazon. I'll put a link. But I think it's, yeah, 20-ounce sausage tube. I think it goes, maybe it goes a little further, seems like it does, versus just the caulking tubes. I don't know, it's probably just in my head. But and we got the Zip System caulking gun. I have tried one of these previously. You don't necessarily have to get the Zip System one. I just thought it was cool. It was the same money as some of the other ones, but I bought a cheap one the first go around. No bueno. It did not work at all. So you spend a little extra money. I think this was like $65, 70 bucks. I think I got this off Amazon too. I'll try to put a link on there as well. I know you're thinking, well, if your window gets installed properly, it's not going to leak. True that. I get that. We are going to install it properly. We will put the window in there, zip flash around everything. It will be flashed accordingly what it's supposed to. But the window itself, over time, I'm going to use a metal clad wood interior window. They are put together in a factory, so those connections can fail, you know, 10, 15 years from now. We don't want that to, we don't want any damage in behind that later on down the road and have to fix it. So we're going to put the liquid flashing on there to prevent all that. Because if your window is leaking 10 years down the road, it's just a drip here, you know what I mean? You're not going to know it until your seal is rotted out. That's one of the bad things about the older homes. You don't know until it's too late. So we are trying our best to prevent damage down the road. First thing to do is make sure you don't have any burrs. Make sure you don't have any sawdust or anything on your seal. And your tape. Tape is a big thing, okay? This tape runs around into the jamb. We just do that, just the guys do that. It just helps them put it on the wall a little easier. So I'm gonna cut that back just a little bit, get the tape back. I'm gonna cut it here, get it back with the sheathing there. And then I'm gonna you have to prime the tape. You have to prime the tape to put the liquid flash over the top of it. If you do not prime it, there's a coating on this tape that I guess makes it slick, and the liquid flash will not stick to it. So I'm gonna use some acetone. You can use lacquer thinner, something that gets really hot. Paint thinner does not work. Anything that will take the writing, you can, as long as whatever you prime it with, as long as it takes that white writing off, you're good. I know I keep saying prime, but it's not a prime. It's not a primer. Acetone is not a primer. It is simply a cleaner, I guess you could say. We are trying to remove that shiny surface on the tape to where the liquid flash will stick to it. So I'm using Goof Off, which is, it's acetone. Works good. Just put it on your rag. Doesn't take a whole lot. And then just simply just wipe it off a couple, 2 or 3 inches. See how I took the writing off of there? That's what you want. Get back to the gun. When I bought the cheap one, see the plunger, how it goes all the way around and hits the sides. The one I had about an 1/8 inch gap around there, and the dang sausage tube would get caught up in there and be a pain in the butt. So once I got a good caulking gun, I hadn't had any trouble. Some people just bust that off. I just take and cut the end off just a little bit. Don't take much. Just basically cut off that knot. So that's all you need. Put the tips and we're ready to go. Keep your rag handy because that stuff gets on you. It don't like to come off. The last tone it comes off though. Just a little sanding sponge. That's it. Just knock down the little burrs. The little burrs will stick out through the liquid flash if you don't get them. So just it takes a second. For the edges of your rough openings on the sheathing, I've kind of tended to use a flapper wheel. So a flapper wheel on your disc, on your angle grinder, on your cordless grinder, whatever you got, just kind of chamfer that edge just a little bit. With a flapper wheel, it does a lot better than just using a sanding sponge. So I'm gonna start at the top and work my way down the sides, just because the zip liquid flash is a little vertically challenged. It will drip on you, so you don't want to get your seal all done and then start on your header and it drips all over it. I mean, it just takes a minute. You got to be a little slow with it on the up here. The walls aren't too bad, but you get overhead, it will kind of be drippy. So I just do about 1.5 inches on the face of it. And about the same inch on the inside. If you need more, you can put more. You got a little working time with it. We are sealing up the edges, but we also want to shut down all the airflow in through there, because on the sheathing you got a little crack right there, and air can escape through there later on, you know, over time. So we're sealing the air loss off, plus sealing up the edges of the sheathing. once I get down to the side on the bottom, I'll just do about a 2-inch height, something like that. So all we like now is the seal. I'll do is do a zigzag pattern, serpentine pattern, and wipe it down. A little wider knife, 6-inch knife. There we go. Got it. There are a few different ways you could actually seal off your window openings. Of course, that is the liquid flash. That is probably the more time consuming of any of them, but I feel it's better. I like it. It seems like it seals the pores off better and just makes a good seal. But you can also use Zip Systems stretch tape. Is that right? This way? This is 6-inch. They got a 4-inch. This stuff works really well. I was very surprised how good it worked. And the weather is a big variable on drying time. Usually, like right now, it is 55 degrees, wind's blowing. I mean, it'll take 4 or 5 hours to really tack up and where you can touch it and not hinder it. So if you're wanting to install your windows the same day as you do your openings, don't use the liquid flash, because you got drying time, unless it's super hot in the summertime. But I still usually try to do it one day and don't put the windows in till the next. You can use the stretch tape on the bottom, and then you can use regular tape on the side jambs right here. You can stretch tape the bottom because you can kind of do a pan flashing. You don't even have to cut the tape. It stretches however you want to do it. So the stretch tape is a very good option for the seals, and then you can just use your regular tape right here on the side. You can also liquid flash the seal, let it dry, then come back and use regular tape on the sides. So there's a couple different ways you can do it. Just my preference is I like the liquid flash. We're not going to be installing windows tomorrow because we don't even have the roof decking on. I just want to get this plywood, the sheathing, I want to get it sealed up because it's going to be a bit. Water's going to blow in here. It will swell a little bit. It doesn't really bother the factory joints that much. It's just the cut joints. You open that end grain and water can get in there and swell it up a little bit. So once you go to put your windows in, if it's swollen, then you're not going to have the right depth on the inside, you know, when your windows meet the drywall or whatever you're putting on the inside. I'll move the lift around to the side on the dormer, and I will use the stretch tape and the regular tape and show you that option too. Works great, just a different option. I was able to use one sausage tube to get 2 windows. These windows are 6 feet tall, 38 inches wide, 32 inches wide, and 2x6 seal. So it did pretty good. Like I said, about 1.5 by 1.5 around the sides. So pretty decent coverage, and we're probably pushing a good fat 16th. I don't know how many mil, probably 25 mil, 20, at least 20 mils. So pretty good coverage. So to change it, all you do is take it off, and this is where the good caulking gun comes into play, y'all. Kind of don't get messy, but now should pop right out of there. That's all you got left. That big old sausage tube. Like I said, the cheap one I had, it would get hung in there, and I just finally just said the hell with it and just trashed it. It was a pain in the butt. It was dirty. It was no good. Get a good caulking gun. All right, we are up in the clouds here. We're on the dormer. I'm going to show you the stretch tape method with doing the window flashing too. Very, very good process. Very easy. It's quicker. Stretch tape works awesome. It really does work really well. But like I said, I do like the liquid flash better. But I'm going to show you this method on these windows up here. This is the 6-inch tape. Just leave your tape about 2 inches up the wall, somewhere in up with that jam there a little bit. It's amazing how much this stuff stretches. It's pretty thick too. I didn't realize it was as thick as what it is, but and it's got a little perforation on the 6-inch. 4-inch doesn't. 6-inch does, just to help you with application, because it could get kind of sticky really quick. Oh, come on now. Ripped on me. I'll stick it. But that's what makes this tape work awesome for this pan flashing, because it stretches however you want to put it on there. Get you a little closer. Watch this. This is crazy. Oh. That is slick right there. All we have to do is take our regular tape and tape the corners just like you would on the outside corner anywhere. You don't have to prime nothing because this sticks to whatever you put it on. So all we gotta do is tape it. Make sure you're over your overlap. Just let it flat on the top there. Sides are done. Let's do the head flashing. Hopefully my camera won't blow over because the wind is blowing pretty good. And I don't drop the tape off. then I'll come in on these corners at the top. Do a reverse osmosis. And we're good to go. And then on the bottom, to finish the seal, I'll just use the regular tape instead of using the stretch tape. Stretch tape is a little more expensive. You get less coverage, you know, with the stretch tape. You nearly, that nearly fell off the lift. Glad it didn't. I'll move you inside. And then I just put a couple pieces right here just to kind of make it look a little more symmetrical. But there is the stretch tape and regular zip tape option. Like I said, it only took about, well, if I wasn't filming, it'd take probably a quarter of the time it would to do the liquid flashing. Great option, works wonderfully. Just like I've said multiple times, I just like the liquid flash better. I think it seals better, but no issues with that. Here is a window that I did about a week ago, last week, before we, I guess it's Thursday, somewhere in there, maybe Thursday or Friday. So it's been on there for 3 or 4 days, but it's rubber. Basically, it's just like a liquid rubber. So bonds like hell to the zip wall. And then right here, if I wouldn't have primed this on the tape, it would have come right off. But since I primed it, it ain't coming off of there. I learned that the hard way. If you don't prime it and you go right over the slick part of the tape, it'll peel off. It takes a little bit, but you can just take your finger and it peels right off of it. So prime your tape and it'll stick like hell. Here are the windows I did this morning. It is 3 o'clock. I started at about 8:30 down here, and they are good to the touch. But they're still just a hair tacky. You know, you could really mash on it, it'll put your fingerprints in it, but overall they are tacked over, so weather's not going to affect them. We are supposed to get some rain tonight. But it should be fine. Like I said, temperature, humidity makes a big difference on drying times. But I always do them, and then they're good to go tomorrow, you know what I mean, the next day. So if you're wanting to install your windows that day, do not do the liquid flash. Do the other method, use the stretch tape, and you'll be you'll be good to go. So which one are y'all gonna choose? If you have not used the liquid flash, I would highly recommend trying it. If you haven't noticed, that's my favorite. That is because, in my opinion, through my experience using it, that it is more durable than the stretch tape. So let's say you got this window. It's not very big, but windows can get very big, very heavy, like the window on the front. It's like 9 by 9. So you better bring your balls that day when you're having to put the window in. But let's say you got your stretch tape on there, you set the window, you forget to put your shim in the inside of it or something. The guy moves your window out here. It's gonna tear the tape. It will tear the tape. And then you've got an issue. Then you gotta take it out and fix it. The liquid flash holds up better to that. I mean, if you have a big ass window like that, I mean, it'll probably gonna mess it up. But just kind of general construction through the process, dropping boards, whatever, hammer, the liquid flash can take more abuse. So that's why I like it more. So let's break it down cost-wise. So I got on my Amazon store, checked out the products on there. So to use liquid flash per opening, like on the video, is like what, 30, about, you can say 3 by 6. I got 2 windows out of one 20-ounce tube. That tube costs 39 bucks. So you divide that by 2, you get about $19.50, $20 per opening to weatherproof that rough opening. Then I got on to the stretch tape, which I had to buy the stretch tape, and then you had to figure a roll of the regular tape. I think I could get 6 openings at 3 feet wide with stretch tape. So that comes about $10 per opening. And then because there's 20 feet on a roll, and then your regular tape, it's gonna take about 18 feet of tape per opening. They're 90 feet long. I got 5 openings. So it's roughly about $17 an opening to use the tape. So not a big, huge difference. It's just kind of a preference at that point. But I'm gonna lean towards the liquid flash. For the liquid flash, if you're gonna be applying it, a Bondo spreader works really well. I used a 6-inch knife, painter's tool. So anything that just kind of smooths, but this kind of does good because you can kind of feather it in there with that. You can feel the pressure on there versus a metal tool. So the temperature outside before you use the liquid flash application, it has to be above 35 degrees. Rain does not bother it. You can put it in if it comes a rain shower 10 minutes after you put it in, you're fine. It's not going to wash off. It's not going to lose its strength. You're good to go. And then as far as mil thickness, Huber recommends 12 to 15 mils without having to get crazy and get a mil check and all that crap. I just personally, when I'm applying it, as long as the wood itself is not bleeding through it. If you put it on too thin, you'll be able to see the wood. So you're just wanting to see that gray, that charcoal color. I saw a nice solid film on there, no wood bleeding through, and you're good. Different places you can use the liquid flash or the stretch tape. Penetration, pipes coming through your walls, wires. It's kind of whatever your preference is on that. The stretch tape works good on larger pipes. You get into anything small, it's kind of hard to work with. So, 3-inch conduit or something like that, I've used the stretch tape. But anything smaller, wire holes, just use the liquid flash. You can put it on there. It's just easier for irregular surfaces, and then also like your connections between your wood framing and your slab or your block. the liquid flash does stick to concrete. Zip tape won't. Okay, so that's a good application around the bottom seal on the exterior of the home. Just it can't be submerged in water. It's got to be able to stay dry. They don't, I guess, guarantee or whatever if it's below grade being saturated all the time. So there we have it. That is my video on how we weatherproof and air seal all of our door and window openings. Once again, I am Keith Dykes. Thanks for watching. I'm about to go eat some fish, and you guys have a wonderful day.